Welcome back to our channel. Before we start, pay attention to the strange feeling you get when someone your age succeeds at something before you do. Not jealousy exactly, just a sudden heaviness. Like your body quietly keeps score, even when your mind tries not to. You see someone getting praised, noticed, chosen, celebrated, and part of you immediately starts calculating your own value without even meaning to. Not because you want bad things for them, but because somewhere deep down, your brain learned that someone else doing well might say something about you. And most people don't realize how early that feeling can begin. Sometimes it starts so subtly that you don't even notice it happening at first. A parent mentioning another child's grades. A sibling being called the smart one. A teacher saying, "Why can't you be more like them?" Even compliments can carry it. Your cousin is so disciplined. Your friend is naturally talented. Look how confident they are. At first, it just sounds like conversation. But after a while, something strange starts happening inside the nervous system. You stop experiencing yourself directly. You start experiencing yourself relative to other people. And that changes more than people think. Some people grow up becoming extremely high achievers because of this, quietly obsessed with improving themselves, constantly monitoring where they stand, becoming hyper-aware of how they're perceived. They learn to survive through performance. Others go the opposite direction. They stop trying altogether because every attempt feels emotionally dangerous. Every effort feels like it could confirm their less than, so they detach before they can be measured again. What's interesting is that both responses usually come from the same wound. Being compared too often. And people misunderstand this pattern all the time. They call these people insecure, competitive, sensitive, lazy, attention-seeking, perfectionistic. But most of the time, they're looking at an adaptation, not a personality flaw. Because when someone spends years being measured against others, their brain slowly stops asking, "What do I actually want?" and starts asking, "Where do I rank?" That's a completely different way to experience life. And it explains why some people can never fully enjoy their achievements. Even after succeeding, the relief disappears quickly, because the goal was never truly self-expression, it was emotional safety. For a lot of people, comparison creates a nervous system that's always scanning. Am I behind? Am I enough now? Did I finally earn approval? Is someone doing better than me? Am I disappointing people again? Research in psychology has shown that humans naturally engage in something called social comparison theory. The brain constantly evaluates itself through other people because belonging and status were once deeply tied to survival. But when comparison becomes emotionally chronic during development, it can reshape identity itself. Social comparison theory. You stop building a self. You start building a performance. And the difficult part is, many people who were compared to others become incredibly self-aware adults. They can read moods instantly. They notice tiny shifts in tone. They become emotionally intelligent because they had to learn how to anticipate judgment early. But underneath that awareness, there's often exhaustion. Because living that way means your nervous system rarely gets to rest. Even compliments can feel uncomfortable. Someone praises you and your brain immediately wonders if you can maintain it, or whether someone else deserves it more, or whether people only value you when you achieve something. That's why some people secretly feel empty after accomplishing goals they once desperately wanted. The achievement happened, but the emotional wound stayed untouched. And there's another layer people rarely talk about. Sometimes being compared to others doesn't just affect confidence. It affects connection. You may struggle to fully celebrate people close to you, not because you don't love them, but because success became psychologically linked to worth. Their achievement accidentally activates your fear of becoming invisible again. So now love and comparison start colliding in the same emotional space, which creates guilt and confusion. Because logically, you're happy for them, but emotionally, something hurts anyway. That contradiction makes many people feel ashamed of themselves. But it makes more sense than people realize. The brain is not always reacting to the present moment. Sometimes it reacts to old emotional conditions that were repeated so many times they became automatic. Especially during childhood. A child who constantly hears comparisons doesn't usually think, "My caregivers are damaging my self-concept." They think, "I must become more acceptable." That's the adaptation. Not arrogance, not weakness, not selfishness. Adaptation. And over time, that adaptation can become so normalized that people don't even notice how deeply it affects everyday life. Why certain social media posts ruin their mood instantly. Why they overthink milestones. Why birthdays feel strange. Why seeing peers move forward creates panic instead of inspiration. Why rest feels undeserved. Why they can't enjoy progress unless someone notices it. Sometimes the person doesn't even want admiration anymore. They just want to stop feeling behind. But behind who? That question usually has no clear answer. Because comparison rarely ends at one person. Once the nervous system learns to measure worth externally, the finish line keeps moving forever. And strangely enough, people who were compared heavily as children often become adults who compare themselves silently, even when nobody else is doing it anymore. The external voice becomes internal. That's the part many people never notice. But there's also something unexpectedly powerful hidden inside this pattern. People who grew up this way often develop unusual emotional depth. They become observant, reflective, motivated, independent thinkers. They can detect emotional dynamics other people miss. They become highly attuned to human behavior because they spent years trying to understand how approval works. The same adaptation that created pain also created perception. And that doesn't erase the cost. But it does explain why some of the most emotionally insightful people are also the hardest on themselves. This isn't really about confidence. It's about conditioning. About what happens when love, attention, or validation start feeling connected to performance too early in life. And none of this means someone is broken. It means the nervous system learned patterns that once felt necessary. That's all. Some people learned they were valuable because they existed. Others learned they were valuable when they exceeded expectations. Those create very different inner worlds. Neither one is chosen consciously. And maybe that's why so many people spend years trying to become better, without realizing they've been trying to become emotionally safe the entire time. Not superior. Not perfect. Just safe from feeling inadequate again. There's a quiet relief in finally understanding that. Because when you realize your reactions have roots, they stop feeling so random. The sensitivity makes sense. The pressure makes sense. The exhaustion makes sense. Even the moments you couldn't explain before start connecting together in a different way. And maybe the strangest part is this. Some people spend their entire lives trying to win a comparison they never agreed to participate in. If this kind of content speaks to you, you already know what to do.